Hey everyone, it's Kyle from Incredible Props, and we're doing another tutorial on the Mandalorian armor. Currently just showing on the screen what I did off camera. I used a Dremel to get grooves where I needed to and smoothed over some corners that didn't need to have such a hard edge, just using the sanding drum and grinding stone bits on the Dremel. To fill the seams, I use Kwik seal, and then for sealing all the foam, I heat sealed after everything was dremeled, and then applied a coat or two of Modge Podge literally over every single piece. Gave a coat of filler primer, Rust-Oleum 2x coverage for every single piece as well to help seal things up, and this is the look we have after a couple coats of that are done. To get the appropriate color for the Beskar armor pieces, I am using charcoal powder, also goes by charcoal lubricant, can be either found in art stores or hardware stores. I only used about 6 grams worth for the entire foam armor pieces. So if you guys are needing to get an idea on how much you should buy, that's roughly how much I used. In addition, wear gloves, because fingerprints left while holding the armor pieces while you're trying to finesse and get the proper shape will be left and picked up by you smudging in the charcoal. I used a cotton pad to smudge everything in. To cover and seal the graphite powder on the armor, we're going to start off with one of the pauldrons. Make sure you're wearing gloves or you get thumbprints, so wear gloves when doing this. Whether you're spray painting or applying the graphite or touching your stuff, until it's sealed, I'd advise wearing gloves. So this doesn't happen. Easy fix, cover it with weathering, but first we gotta seal it. I'm gonna use Pledge Floor Gloss, and we're gonna see how that goes. I won't be talking, so air compressor is gonna be loud. I'm using a garbage bag so I don't make a mess of everything. But I'm going to set this on somewhere to dry, and we're going to keep on going. The color I use for covering the left knee and the hip protectors is just a navy blue. Took about 2 coats to get the proper coverage that I needed. Afterwards, later in the video, we cover some weathering that I go over all the pieces with. Onto the right shin, I'm mixing a light and dark brown to get a base coat for all the darker brown sections of the shin. The 2mm foam parts are either going to be a reddish more so than burgundy color, along with a burnt sienna for the leather strip across the top, which has the extra ammo bullets, and along the bottom. I'll tune back in a little bit and kind of let you guys just follow along this time lapse to see what I mean. And then for the bullets and the side little metal pieces on the part of the knee, I just used some silver paint. Took about 2 to 3 coats just because of all the extra paint layers that had built up over it. For this ab plate, for the lower ridge sections, I went with a darker gray color, and then for the raised 2mm detail pieces, I went with a lighter gray. Very simple, kind of smudged everything in, and just I'll let this once again speak for itself. For the left shin, I just did the same generic dark brown base coat that I applied on the right, as you can see in the background of this painting part, and I just covered everything up. I used a black spray paint also to give a base coat as well. Okay, so I started already to I did a base coat of brown for the leather left shin, and I made a kind of burnt sienna, so brown, red, orange, balance it out till you get it lighter. Obviously you can see what the dark base color was. More is less, so we're dry brushing, building up until we get the color we want. You don't want it to be super orange, but you kind of want it to obviously be lighter than this dark brown. I already did some going around, then you can see where I did two off camera. If I do this just right, in the sense that we kind of dry brush it, we'll be okay. I don't want it to be consistent, or sorry, I don't want it to be perfect coverage. Just add some extra variation. You can see I'm kind of half-ass brushing it over. I'm trying to do this quick. The battery's showing low. Okay, so let me compact, burgundy middle, kind of a burnt sienna, kind of a yellow ochre for up top if you have those. I'm using acrylics, so try to make a burnt sienna, and this is more of a burgundy, yellow ochre, dark brown. Don't touch it with white on your glove. Fudge. To add more variation to this maroon section, for the peaks of the folds I am using a light red, and when there are deeper sections of those creases I am using a black, applying this haphazardly and lightly so that way I can control it better. I can always add more, and since it's an oil base, it gives you a bit more time to work with and blend things in a little bit better. I'm applying using my hand, and that way I can kind of smudge things in and work them to my desired liking, and I'll let this speed along in time lapse to show you guys what I plan on doing and did. This go around, after we did a couple coats of amaze over the charcoal smudged Beskar armor pieces, I am using oil-based black to smudge things and using more cotton pads in those creases where we think some weathering would have built up. Apply it to your own heart's desire, mixing in with different colors. You could make it sand theme. He's been in the snow, the desert, all over the place with this suit of his. So mix it and match and apply the weathering to whatever look you are going for. So for the non-Beskar pieces, because those I used Pledge gloss finish to seal in all the charcoal, I just used a clear gloss coat to seal in for the other armor pieces, and this is what the left shin turned out to look like. I'm very happy, and you can see where, if I get the camera to focus, you can kind of tell where the highlights were with the oil and then the black oil for the creases. So a little bit harder to tell with the gloss, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. This I feel could use a bit more weathering. Very simple. A bit more around the ammo bullets and such. But I can easily fit my foot and leg all the way through that, so I don't need to add a zipper or seam allowance. Here are the gauntlets. Really should have done these holes better with a Dremel. I forgot that step when I was doing all the dremeling, so I just used a box cutter to kind of bore in those holes. And then I glued the rest of the armor to the fabric, which still needs to be darkened. It's hot glued. You can use Velcro to attach everything, or magnets, or snap pins or something, but I just used hot glue. Here you can see chest plate, shoulder with the Mudhorn signet, also other shoulder. Ab plate piece, hip protectors, they're kind of straightforward. The other thigh armor pieces, and then the knee. Gloves, real simple. I just used some black gloves. They could probably be tailored in to be a little bit smaller, and then I just glued on the foam hand plates to the back of these fabric gloves. Can't speak. And this is the helmet. I am not super thrilled with it, so I have ordered a 3D print for the Mandalorian helmet. I will be covering the sanding, filling, painting process for that whenever that arrives. I'm not happy with this because with this current visor, it stretches, like it smushes the face in, and when I'm wearing it, I literally am propping the shape with my nose. So my nose is being smushed, so the helmet doesn't look so smushed. I'll throw it on. So you can kind of get an idea, but my nose is smushed the heck in. So, as you can see, it's a lot more wider than what it should be. So, that's the armor pieces. I will be covering the fabric in terms of what I bought and weathering it. I just hot glued everything onto the fabric so that way it was ready for me to wear for Halloween. I think that's it for in terms of sealing and painting. Check the description for materials and links to templates. If you guys have any questions regards to this process for what I've done, leave it in the comment section. Like if you liked, dislike if you don't, and subscribe if you want to stay tuned for more videos, okay? Thanks guys. That's Kyle from Incredible Props, signing off for now.